used to be terrified of women. I mean, like, I am one. Scary. I'm very scary. I used to be terrified of women, really scared of them, been really hurt by them. You know, school, yeah, bad. Used to be really scared of women because we still have the fear, maybe it's in our DNA, of how we were used and manipulated to betray other women and set a light to them. How women who owned land had their land taken away from them because they were killed. And so the establishment would get women to turn against other women and call out that woman as a witch in order for her lands to be taken and given to, I don't know, yeah, whatever it was, the powers that be at the time. And we pointed the finger, and the reason why we pointed the finger was because we were terrified of the finger being pointed at us. And so women ended up betraying other women for the fear of the fire themselves. Now, whether or not you think that you were alive during these times or whatever, we, in a way, couldn't own property until the 60s. Because this, finger pointing, having lands taken away because people were accused of witchcraft in order for the powerful to be able to own more land, it's not that far away historically. So, you know, in the 60s, you couldn't own property. And it was just, that was the turning point in the 60s. So my auntie, when she split up with her partner, wanted to take his name off her mortgage, was told that she couldn't. I mean, she created enough hell, so it happened, but that was the start of a turning point. And so somehow, the reason why I had a fear of women is because that pointing fingers, talking, backstabbing, all of that stuff dates back to then. And we haven't really, especially British culture, we haven't really moved that far from stabbing other women in the back, you know. So my turning point was when I moved to San Francisco. And I went to California Institute of Integral Studies as a student, and I met a sisterhood. Now, I would say, before these women, I would say I was guarded, kind of had a bit of an attitude, like defensive. So I was defensive towards women and guarded, and I had no idea that I had this kind of, like a negative brick wall around myself. I had no idea it was there. And someone in San Francisco just very kindly pointed it out to me. And I was horrified because I thought, here's me, clown nose. I wasn't fooling anyone. And so I thought that my funny would mean that people wouldn't see this guardedness. But I was guarding my heart. Absolutely would not let women near me. Because I think that somehow they could see that I was quite a powerful person, that I had lived a big life, that I'd gone through quite a lot of trauma and hurt, and it had made me stronger. And so the belittling of those women were kind of like, she's a threat, so we must put her down and her and get her away. And it wasn't until when I was in America and I had real female collaboration, real female pom-pom waving, real support from other women, it kind of broke me inside. It kind of cracked right open. I just went, wow, this is what it's like to breed. Because suddenly, by having the support of other women, and I had support from men, but the support of a woman to another woman is something else entirely. It's not like mothering, but it's like, it's a really different open connection. Maybe it's boobs. But it's really, really beautiful having female support. And I came back to the UK and I thought, I am not going to fall down this hole again. I am not going to become guarded. I'm always going to keep an open heart when it comes to women. And I am going to cheerlead women like I'm going to run out of arms. I'm going to pom-pom the crap out of women. I am going to... And I have done ever since. Now, sometimes you get to a place where it's a small town mentality and all of that guardedness is still there. And coming back to the town that I was living in when I was much younger as a teenager, I can see it here. I can see that guardedness and that this is mine, stay away from it. This is my man, this is my home, this is my dog, this is my cat, girlfriend, girlfriend. And I'm like, whoa, I remember why I became the guarded woman I was. However, you can't fix something by continuing with the same level of vibration that created it. So, despite my pom-poms sometimes being on fire, I'm still waving them. I'm still waving them. And I just want to encourage and inspire you. Don't talk about empowering women, because when you talk about empowering women, you're already coming with the mindset that they're shit. Don't do that. Don't come with the mindset that they're rubbish. Don't talk about empowering women. We're talking about sisterhood, we're talking about cheerleading, and this isn't exclusive of men or about men at all. This is about the fact that women are really bad to other women. That's what this is about. This isn't about men and history and all the rest of it. Yes, it's kind of there, but women are rubbish to other women. We allow that stuff to happen, and not on my watch, not in my life. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to bitch and gripe and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to turn a woman against another woman. I am not going to do that. And I want you to make a stand. Find a woman, any woman, pom-pom the crap out of them, even if it tickles them to death. Find someone right now, today, that you can say, hey, I love you. I really admire your work. And you know what? And I don't mean women at the bottom of their game that need uplifting. You go and tell the women at the top of their game. Go and encourage the women who are doing brilliant. You go and write a nice letter to a woman that you are jealous of. You go and say something encouraging, because I tell you this, the women at the top of their game are the most lonely, because everybody thinks that they don't need anything, that they're just brilliant and that they don't need support. But actually the women at the top of the game, they're the ones that really do need you to tell them how brilliant they are and how inspired by them, because it's so lonely at the top. It's so empty, because everybody kind of goes, oh, look at her. Because when you are at the top of your game, you just have to keep going. You have to keep up there. And you do need support when you're at the top of your game. You don't need it all the way up. You need it when you're at a point where someone wants to topple you off. That's when the wind in your ears is coldest and strongest, because there's no support network around you who have ever been doing what you're doing, and you're just making it up. So support those people, get behind those women. They're the ones who really need it. Pom-poms blazing.